I'm Tony K, and I want to talk to you, my fellow collectors, about buying used figures for our collections. I'm currently filling in my Transformer movies cast with all the robots I didn't get from the first two films, and I'm finding that most of the mint and sealed package figures are going for some serious cash on eBay and Amazon. But by buying used, some even played with condition, some broken and missing parts, I'm getting these things at much more reasonable prices. But if the seller doesn't tell us something that's broken on it or something that's missing, either because the seller doesn't know, isn't a collector, it was their kid's toy, whatever the excuse is, if they don't make it clear that something on this figure is broken and they send it to you, you've paid them for it, and you just can't live with whatever might be broken on it, then have the confidence to follow up on that. Let them know what the problem is. If they aren't willing to deal with you, resources like eBay and PayPal have some awesome buyer protection services for us. I find that most sellers want good feedback and they want to provide good customer service. So if you contact them, explain the situation, you should be able to work something out. I want to show you the problems that I ran into with my most recent purchases of used figures. Starting with Jazz. Now, this was a good seller. The seller listed that the missile with the gun wasn't the same missile that the figure came with. They lost it. But they did have a missile that fit into the gun. And I thought, hey, no big deal. I don't even like that gun. I won't display it. And so it was worth it for the price that I got Jazz at. Let's look at Mudflap. The seller did list that this figure was coming without the missile and without these two doors. Not a big deal to me. I think he's got an awful transformation, so he'll be standing there in robot mode. I'll kind of put him off in the background, but I'll still see him. I'll remember him and hate him. The seller didn't mention that this part was broken, but again, the price that I got this guy at was worth the damages. Let's put it that way. Nothing wrong with skids, except that, again, the transformation is a pain in the butt. Demolisher. The seller did mention that Demolisher's turrets were broken and missing here and here, but I thought, hey, that's acceptable. I can deal with that. The seller did not mention, probably didn't realize, that a weapon was missing from his right arm. But I saw that from the photos, and I decided for the price that I'm getting this guy at, it was worth the damages. Now, Scalpel. Do not buy a used Scalpel. I cannot say that enough. Don't buy Scalpel used. You want a Scalpel for your collection? Get a mint and sealed package. I'll show you why. These ball joints, let's bring this in and focus. The ball joints on the legs. Cracked. Every one of them. He's got 6 legs. He's got 6 cracked sockets. I tried super glue. It won't hold the socket together enough to hold the leg in. This guy cannot stand up on his own. The legs fall out. On top of that, the seller only showed the picture of him in microscope mode, so you couldn't see that his left arm was missing, that his antenna were missing. I didn't have enough knowledge of Scalpel to realize that the panel from the front, front of the microscope and the midsection of his insect body, that panel was missing. So when I got him and I found all these flaws, I contacted the seller. The seller apologized, said I didn't realize that he was so broken. Let me send you another one. Well, I got this one. He's got the antenna, he's got the arms, and he's got the panel. But again, all of these sockets are broken. By this time, a month had passed since I first ordered the figure, so I emailed the seller again. The seller offered a refund. I said, that's great, I'd like the refund. I can send these figures back to you if you will repay me for shipping. The seller said, nope, don't worry about it. And on top of that, the next week, the seller had 2 more Scalpels listed. I'm thinking that this seller knew these things were subpar and was just neglecting to mention it, hoping to get somebody who wouldn't call him out on it. So if you run into these situations where you're buying a used figure and you find some damage that you weren't counting on, offer to send it back and get a full refund plus the return shipping and see what they say. Maybe they'll offer the refund, maybe they'll offer to let you keep it because they know they can't get the money back from it from just simply having to repay you for shipping. To all of us who are continuing to collect, good luck.